We've got our priorities all wrong in this country. Today I went to visit Wickford in Essex, which is set to be the latest in a long line of towns to have an asylum seeker hotel. But nothing sums up the total lunacy of this government's approach to asylum seekers than what I witnessed today. This particular hotel is on a road populated by mostly elderly people in their retirement. They have worked their entire lives and paid their taxes. They've saved up so that they can spend their final years in peace and quiet in what is a lovely part of the world. And then one day, boom, without any warning whatsoever, they're told that 100 asylum seekers are moving in next door. Now, by definition, we don't know who all these people are. We don't know anything about them. And yet we'll plonk 100 of them in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do all day, almost no security whatsoever, in a hotel that has a public footpath leading directly to a nursery school. And then, on top of that, there were people who use that hotel as their long-term place of residence, people who block book it out for months at a time, people who use it so that they can technically have an address so that they can see their children at the weekends. And they've been turfed out now just to make way for these people. Just have a look now at the devastating impact that this has had on one man who is trained to be a firefighter, so basically a public servant, a man willing to risk his life for people like you and I in times of absolute crisis. He will now no longer be able to see his children because of a result of him being made homeless for these people. Check this out.
I got a knock on the door Wednesday last week telling me that I've got to leave the hotel after 2 years of paying my rent. Because asylum seekers are taking the hotel.
In a nutshell, as a result of this hotel, supposedly anyway, about to accommodate asylum seekers, they've now made British citizens homeless and unable to see their kids.
But they've made them intentionally homeless because they've made a signed letter saying that we have voluntarily left the hotel. As a result of this, I could break down crying now, bro. It ruins me. Stress me out to the max.
But it's not just the fact that it's happening, is it? It's the fact that it's all being done in secret. It's all cloak and dagger. It's all clandestine. It's all wrong. It's almost like they have something to hide, isn't it? Nobody will ever be able to convince me that a full-blown British citizen who has worked and paid into the system his or her whole life should be turfed out so that we can make way for what some people would regard as illegal immigrants, so that the taxpayer can put them into a semi-luxury hotel with 3 square meals a day. Now, I'm all for tolerance and inclusivity, but why should elderly residents be made to have to update the security at their homes in their dotage, to have to pick their granddaughters up from the station because they don't think it's safe for them to walk home anymore? Why should people doing a public service job be made homeless to accommodate these other people? And then, of course, we've got the bleeding heart Liberals, haven't we, saying to us that we need more help. We need to do more to help. Well, from where I'm sitting, we're doing quite enough already.